let's check.
Yep.
Okay, it seemed okay. Look like we're live here.
Mm. Yeah, I found the one you were talking about.
Okay, so I cut the echo on that, so it's live there on Akim. Um, I didn't do the chat on it, so I just disabled the chat. Obviously, nobody's to what was will be over there. Um, and let me shut down this. Shut this down here. And all right, all right. Let's go into it. I think we're live. We're live right now. Shalom, shalom, shalom. We're out there over here in El Paso, Texas. Coming to you this week, midweek forum here to discuss prophecies. Also, give a heads up to the 130 elect of Yahshua, Israel, so-called Black Americans, Latino, and also let these other heathen nations, which include the two-third Hebrew Israelites that choose to wallow in the abomination here in Great Babylon. You know, the great destruction is coming here to this place, and Yahushua Mashiach is soon to return to set up his heavenly kingdom. Before we get started, I would like to give all glory and honor to Yahweh.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai,
Ba'ashem,
Dash.
double honors to the teachers, elders, and apostles of Great Millstone, also to you brothers out there that's putting out this truth, faithfully, fearlessly feeding the sheep, and to you brothers and sisters that tuning in.
Shalom.
All right. You know, I came with El Paso here. You got the brother Rayab and me,
if you're over 50 and struggling with aching, loose, discolored teeth, or cavities,
Satan.
bad breath, then pay close attention.
Yeah,
because Harvard scientists recently proved that
your
oral health.
That's your time. Do what you got to do. Go ahead.
All right. So, you know, we've got a lot of things going on this weekend. You had over the weekend, what you had was the derailment out there in Florida. You were talking about this derailment that took place in Greece that killed.
Yeah, there was a so recently there was a deadly train crash down there in Greece that resulted in at least 76 fatalities. So death toll is now up at 76. So what ended up happening is that the news yesterday was reported that there was emergency workers searching late into the night, you know, for survivors and bodies after a passenger train and a freight train crash head-on in central Greece. Now, it's not a coincidence that this has happened in the midst of you know, these major and multiple train derailments we've been hearing about, where Esau is clearly using Slovakia, Satan. So, but I digress back to what I was saying. So it's not a coincidence this whole, you know, Greece train wreckage happened in the midst of these major train derailments has been happening globally, especially nationally in Babylon the Great, which is America. All right, the biblical name for America. All right, because we know that, you know, this is a part of Esau's Hegelian dialectic, where he's looking to create a problem to present the solution to sustain order. Okay, and a part of him presenting this problem is through compromising our sources of our livelihoods, man, through our necessities. You know what I'm saying? By attacking the power grids, attacking these agricultural manufacturing plants that mainly have been mysteriously catching on fire. Okay. And then now you have these situations going on. You know what I'm saying? So you had the situation down here in Greece take place, and then that train situation that you spoke about on Florida actually took place a few days ago, where it was reported that there was a train carrying 30,000 gallons worth of propane that derailed in Florida. You see that? So it's an ongoing pattern. It's not going to stop. It's only going to intensify, you know, until logistics, you know, completely is compromised in regards to how we get our necessities, man. And that's why hyperinflation is only going to worsen. You know what I'm saying? You know, the scarcity of food, water, and medical supplies and so forth is going to worsen. And what's that going to further fulfill? Second Ezra, the 15th chapter. You know what I'm saying? The second Ezra, the 6th chapter. You know, where people are fighting over scarcity resources. So this is all a part of this World War III algorithm by this devil, okay, which is also taking place in the midst of what's happening right now, and is, you know, during the G20 summit that, you know, is taking place right now in India with Elam, hosted by Elam, okay, around the same time that what you have the World Health Organization talking about, you know, further regulating, you know, the human experience by bringing back the mandatory dragon juices, man. Okay, to further promote their CBDCs. All right, to ultimately promote what? The chip. So right here, and in the midst of that chip being implemented, okay, mandatorily, okay, that's going to result in, and that's going to further result in this last World War popping off. This is why we keep hearing about these rumors of wars and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Especially over the beast being in at a rift with America over this whole Ukraine proxy war, and this is why Turkey just the Turkish foreign minister just basically threatened to sanction Babylon and NATO over the whole Russia Ukraine war provocation, because that's hurting them, because they heavily rely on Russian energy, man. So this thing is not going to boil over. It's only going to get worse until Esau is impoverished again, like it says in the book of Malachi, the 1st chapter. All right, you got it out.
Yeah, but you see, Jake ain't listening to that, because you know why? I mean, when you have a so-called prophet, like Sakari, that that comes with the hip hop and with the same image that Esau has set up Jake, over the last 25 years, to basically be just a knucklehead, okay, in society, okay. They consistently trust in Egypt because they're seeing the benefits, okay, some of these fake ass niggas. I'm just gonna call them straight up niggas, okay, perpetuating out there with the Bible in their hand. This is the book of Psalms 20 and down verse 7. It says, "Some trust in chariots and some in horses," which symbolizes power, which is great Babylon, America. But we remember the name of the Lord, our power, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Now, on Monday, Biden came out with this thing where they're trying to go with the student loan forgiveness, okay, which they show in the face of that as being Jake's, okay, so-called Blacks, Native Americans, and Latinos, okay, in particular, of course, the Negroes. Now, when you go read the comment board, which will have like thousands of comments on MSM.com, and that's a platform really just for these Edomites to express their absolute hate, okay, and they read it, and for them it's like they're looking at that, and what they think is, see, they don't bring up the fact that the majority of people going to college are in fact Edomites, so-called white people who are borrowing the money from the government to go to school, okay, and they can't pay because right now you're in a situation where there's no work, you don't have no experience, you can't get no job, or there's just simply no work, okay. But they show the face of Jake, because you have in May where Biden is going to cut down that SNAP benefit. Now you get a lot of these Edomites who are losing their job, or they need subsidies, okay, to get this assistance, and now it's not there. And then they're looking at the border situation. You have Trump coming out at the same time, okay, that is bringing out the rhetoric of take our country back, all these dead weights here coming across the border. And so the eyes, even Jake themselves, are looking at each other and going like, man, you're dead weight, you're a piece of shit. These Hispanics are crap, they're useless coming across the border. Okay, they're seeing these Jakes throwing hands up and holding up the sign, and I had that in the lesson that I put up. Okay, hey, forgive our debt. Meaning what? The rest of the society is looking, going, you don't take responsibility for your debt. Why should our tax dollar pay for it? And I love how these Edomites like to come on and go, my tax dollar. It's like, do you have a job? Because you don't have a job, so how the hell your tax dollar can pay any doggone thing if you don't have a job? You gotta have a job to pay taxes, right? So it just cracks me up. So they're looking at this, and this warning that I put out on a lesson that I put out was no peace, just that, was the fact that why these nations here, particularly these Edomites, going to be so angry at us is because they think that their fall from grace, which is the top right now, is because our people are just simply leeches here, just taking free thing and just giving, okay, and not understanding that the just judgment that's coming around. It's the white man who's blowing up these poultry farms and these dairy farms and these cattle farms. These Edomites, man. And you mentioned earlier, okay, about the MOTB, the mark of the beast, the chip coming. Everybody have to understand this. There is nothing that Esau can do to prevent that. That's a judgment from Yahweh Shem Yahweh himself, and that's the reason why the son, Yahushua Mashiach, the Malak, it said, roughly paraphrasing, those who kept, because he kept the hour of his words, he would keep you from the hour of temptation, which we know an hour to the Lord is what, 40 years, okay? So it's a period of time, okay? And that's the reason why you hear all the brothers them And even, Yahushua even warned, woe to those who are of lost patience. You're thinking, oh, it's going to happen tomorrow. Like, nah, man, we got what he said, to great tribulation will inherit the kingdom of heaven. Man, this ain't over.
That's why if you can you Baba Shah, can you get a 2 Timothy 2:4? Because he told us, he gave us specific instructions to endure suffering to the end, roughly paraphrasing. Yeah. Ultimately, these people are not going to be stable in the minds when shit hits the fan. You know what I'm saying? When they find out electricity is not going to be cut back on, when they find out that gas is no longer going to be available to them, that they have been so accustomed to having available. Okay, when there's no more food or water that they'll be able to get at their leisure time. You know what I'm saying? Because they did not adhere to the words of Yahweh by Shem and Shai for the sake of their salvation, fear and trembling, because salvation is only for the nation of Israel anyway. And specifically the elect, okay, in righteousness, because the 2/3 are going to die. They're going to slack it. The 2/3 are going to be saved through death. And this is why, pursuant to Romans, the 9th chapter, all of Israel is going to be saved, which means that, all right, all of Israel is going to be in the kingdom of heaven. They're just not going to be at the prestige of the 144,000. But this is why the prophets of Yahweh Shem and Shai have the toughest and most precious job on the planet, because we are literally fulfilling the duties of Yahweh by Shem and Shai through this ministry. And this is why Yahweh Shai was put to death, because this ministry is a burden to people, because this is the only doctrine that forces people to be held accountable. Exactly. So when an overall wave of life, for lack of a better term, is cut off, they're going to be searching for wine, like it says in Isaiah 24:11. When you know what I'm saying? Because why? They were trusting in men and chariots, like he just brought out in Psalm the 20th chapter. So I just got a quick precept for you in the book of Acts chapter 10 verse 43, and it reads, "To him give all the prophets witness that through his name whosoever believeth in him shall receive remission of sins." So like it says in I believe it's in Romans the 10th chapter of book of 1 Corinthians, where it says, how could they have learned without a teacher, without a preacher? So we have pastors of Yahweh by Shem and Shai's heart that have been set up to bring us into that ancient remembrance of the holy covenant that Yahweh made with Yasha'Allah, pursuing in St. Luke the 1st chapter. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So despite the rebellion going on in Yasha'Allah right now, okay, the true prophet is going to be honored in these last days, and they're going to receive everything that comes, all the righteous spiritual perks that comes with fulfilling a lot of a true prophet of Yahweh by Shem and Shai, okay, a man of Yahweh by Shem and Shai's heart, okay, including fame, okay, you know what I'm saying, and so forth. So all we got to do right now is continue to do what we have to do. We're going to be rewarded openly, man, like Yahweh by Shem and Shai promised us. And this is why it says what it says here, Acts 10:43, to give him all the prophets witness, okay, to him give all the prophets witness, okay, that through his name whosoever believeth in him shall receive remission of sins, all right? Because we are the witnesses, the prophets of witnesses, Yahweh Shem and Shai. And that's also why Yahweh Shai said, "With 2 or 3 are gathered my name, I am in the midst thereof," roughly paraphrasing. Okay, so it's very powerful, okay, to have 2 or more men, okay, mutually praising Yahweh Shem and Shai on the same page, man. Okay, there's no greater gift than that, because there's no greater gift than serving Yahweh by Shem and Shai, especially when you have someone in a like mind. So this truth, having always been said, is something that is precious, and it should not be disregarded by any stretch of imagination, because those who are in that spirit, when shit hits the fan, are going to be left out here to fend for themselves. And we're in this flesh, and this flesh has limitations. So we'll see how that pans out for you guys out there being proud, man. Okay, in the midst of wild beasts, you know what I'm saying, also being suffering by way of scarcity of food and water and whatnot, looking to devour flesh for compensation. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Or you're in the midst of famine, you know what I'm saying, starving to death, okay, being at risk of starving to death or dehydrating to death, or both, okay, being in the midst of a civil war where someone wants to take your head off because they believe you have they believe they can come up off of you, okay, because they believe you have something they don't have. See, all these scenarios are great possibilities, okay, that are part of the temptations of this flesh, okay, and we're only going to be the only ones who are going to be spared from those temptations, like how Shai promised us, is the elect, those who kept the word of his patience, man. That's okay. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because through patience and faith of the scriptures comes through patience and hope of the scriptures so I can set it backwards. Through patience and faith in the scriptures is how we get hope, because we are the prisoners of hope, man. So-called Blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians, most vulnerable demographic of people on the planet. And that's what further confirms that we are the lost tribes of Israel. Okay, the suffering the greatest evil under the sun, like it says in Daniel the 9th chapter. So we what? We are in great need of saving, and we cannot save ourselves. So the only way we can save ourselves is by taking heed to the doctrine. And that's why the prophets are out there, okay, week in and week out, in season, out of season, man, to further convey this message to Jake, man, okay, to repent or die, with through a grave warning, okay.
And they don't listen. They don't listen. They don't listen because they've been putting their trust in Great Babylon America, particularly the so-called white man, all this time. Okay, so when you go into the book of 2 Timothy chapter 2 and start verse 4, and it says, "No man who had chosen him to be a soldier," and that's exactly what we are, man. We're soldiers out there. Yahushua, what did describe the Lord as a man of war? Okay, not peace, not the cuddly bear, sweet loving Jesus coming and hold you, come as thou will. No, he's a man of war. So what does a man of war needs? Okay, the commander-in-chief needs what? Soldiers who are going to go there brave and bring out this work. Now we can look in this camera, both of you and I, okay, and tell Esau, bottom line is we don't have any fear of you. We have a fear of our king. You're not our king. Biden, you're not our king. Trump, you coming, you're not our king. Okay, henceforth all the other slave owners who call themselves presidents, you're not our king. And none of you doggone devil crackers walking the street or anything or mean anything to us, because we already know what is going to come to you. Okay, now we always tell you, Jakes, as I brought out, okay, about the tribulation, the great tribulation is going to come in Jacob's trouble. Right now, why do these cops would shoot a Jake, or why do 10 cops come and pull up on one Jake? That natural, that fear, okay, they understand that nobody's going to miss you. Your life is like down here in Great Babylon, America. And two, okay, they pull a gun out because they do something what is called shock and awe, okay, or preemptive strike. And there's going to be a lot of preemptive strike on Jake. And this is the reason why that protection on the hopefully left, okay, is going to be so critical. Because of the fact is that Jake is going to go there and be stupid. He's going to go do things. And it only takes one Jake to do something stupid for these nations, and particularly these Edomites, to blame every Jake. And so walking over there as a so-called black man or Hispanic man is going to become a dangerous thing. The rhetoric that's going on right now for these border Jakes who are coming across right now, they're suddenly saying crime is increasing in El Paso. Oh, yeah. Really? Nobody's, they're not reminding about the doggone white boy that went in the doggone in the mall and shot up the people on the Walmart, or went up to the hospital to go shoot up what he thought was bad people, Hispanics, okay? And yet still, and this is the Northern Kingdom, they have that big doggone stupid statue erected up there in Brazil, and walking around with a rosary and a cross and all this other crap like that. Y'all are not going to recognize that y'all are not better than Daki here until these so-called white people, man, is the white man them start beating your ass, your kids, throwing you in them damn FEMA camps, just putting you the damn debt right in the road. You've had the privilege of sitting back and not getting that judgment at the level in this modern day society, okay? And I'm talking 2023 here, as a so-called Negro, the dark-skinned Daki, or what y'all like to call us, whatever that name is that y'all like to call us in Espanol, okay?
Yeah, Mayate and Moreno.
Yeah, okay, y'all haven't had that, but it's coming, and we've been giving you the doggone warning, okay? We're the soldiers of Yahushua Mashiach. Go ahead.
Khan, line back on what you were saying. This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17. All right, and it reads, "As for us, our eyes has yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that cannot save us, because it's not in their lot to save us, man. Esau's created to be the perfect devil, okay? And the word devil means, in the Latin, diablos means slanderer, accuser. And a synonym for that is devil, a deceiver, because he deceived the entire world into believing that, Satan doesn't exist by promoting Satan in a very deliberate, masqueraded way, if you will, for lack of a better term, by normalizing Satan. That's why that famous saying or proverb goes, the greatest trick that Satan played on the earth was convincing those that he didn't exist. Esau's looking at, so right about now, Esau's being exposed, man. Okay, all right. He's being exposed as the main enemy of Jacob, because it just so happens that the devil Bible speaks of has a biblical identity. Okay, his name is Edom, Esau, Edom meaning red. Okay, all right, not because he's not. This devil is not white, and this is the same devil that has was predestinated to have perpetual hatred towards the descendants of Jacob. Prophesied Amos the first chapter, and this is why this hatred is exhibited through his immoral decrees, his satanic policies, like the zero tolerance policy. All right, to try to justify stripping the children away from you northern tribes. While you're over here being proud, still being proud collectively, okay, against your southern kingdom brothers and sisters. Okay, ironically, you're looked at as a Moreno to the devil. That's why, not to be all over the place, but during the Spanish Inquisition around that time, this devil was referring to indigenous, so-called indigenous from the northern kingdom as prairie niggers, especially Gad. Okay, when you would pop up out of it, because Gad is an expert in guerrilla warfare, so Gad will pop up out of the ground and do all kind of that usual Gadite things they do warfare. And Esau coined a term for them, prairie niggers. And he has similar terms for the rest of the tribes, including northern tribes. So case in point, we're in a time of war, like it says in Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. And a part of his World War III algorithm is instigating civil war. Part of the reason why, a part of him doing that is using racial epithets in his propaganda to trigger emotions from certain political groups like the KKK and the Proud Boys and whatnot. And on the other side, and that's why in this chapter, in this scripture here, Lamentation 4:17 says, "As for us, our eyes as yet fail for our vain help, and our watching we have watched for a nation that cannot save us," because they don't want to save you. They despise you, man. Okay, now, little unbeknownst to you Israelites, collectively, they despise you because they envy you. Okay, these devils are fucking stupid, man. They don't know why they envy you, but the upper echelon elites of these Edomites know that we are the chosen. We have royal blood in our veins because we are the royal priesthood. So they want to do what? Blot out the remnants of Israel from the earth. Spoke about in Psalm 83rd chapter. And this whole immigration policies and other more decrees and whatnot, it's all part of this plan to destroy Jake, especially through eugenics as well. So when Jake gets mowed down by these modern day Roman centurions, you want to go out, Jake want to go out there and march and beg Esau for his validation, by saying the stupid ass slogan, "No justice, no peace." Okay, when you're really begging the devil to stop being the devil, and that's counterproductive. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. You see what I'm saying? He's not going to stop being the devil, man. He hates you. Yeah. And you think he's shedding your blood right now. Just wait till he suspends this government, man. Okay, right. Just wait till this economy completely collapses. Then the law enforcement will be replaced by the military. Okay, then you're going really, and then when especially during martial law, then we're going to have a problem on your hands. Okay, for you 2/3, man. All the righteous are, you know what I'm saying? We're not at that stop. Okay, but this is a point here, Lamentations 4:18. They hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled. For our end is come. Our end is come, man. Okay, all right. The ending of these curses also spoke about at the end of this chapter. All right, because like it says in 2nd Esdras, the 6th chapter, Jacob is the beginning of the world, and Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So that's why we're seeing such horrible things happen on earth, because they're all ensigns of a downfall of he who was created to destroy the earth. Okay, who was created to steal, murder, destroy. We're seeing in St. John the 10th chapter, the disease of the earth himself. Prophesied in Sirach the 10th chapter. That's Esau, Edom. That's why we keep hearing about these train derailments. These all this other madness and mischief and mayhem going on globally, because they're all ensigns that point towards the end of Esau's destruction, or of his rulership rather. That will end up in his destruction, man. So that destruction is going to include you 2/3 that will follow this devil into that pit. Okay, pursuing St. Matthew 15:14, because you know not who you worship, like how I told that Samaritan woman. She got it up.
Yeah, and and this is and the thing about it is like, and this is Jake. We've warned Jake them. Unless you have to, do not cuddle or be friends with these doggone Edomites, man. Okay, because these Edomites are going down hard. This judgment is really this end of time judgment is released for these Edomites. But Jake, the two-third will be will succumb to death, okay, by the lake of fire if you don't change. This is the book of Psalms. This is the book of Psalms 64 and start verse 2, and it says, "Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked and the insurrection of the workers of iniquity," which is these so-called white people, okay? And specifically, we're looking at the elites, the men that actually really run stuff. So this isn't for you, Joe Sixpack out there on the sidewalk out there walking by, getting your feelings hurt and all that stuff. For that, you really just fuel for the fire. Your master doesn't give a crap about you. And it says, "Who whet their tongue like a sword, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privy. They say, who shall see them?" Okay, that student loan forgiveness thing, that's a big snare right there. They wanted to see just how many suckers was going to apply for that, which a lot of people did apply for it, millions. Okay, because why? In reality, okay, part of that snare in Great Babylon America is if you go get an education, you would get a high-paying job or you'll get a nice job, which doesn't really work out for Jakes. Okay, and different state, okay, has different type of opportunities, and this is why I used to see this thing called the United Negro College Fund. Okay, what did you say? You used to have James Earl Jones go, "A mine is a terrible thing to waste," So they push into that, and I can speak personally myself, but my family, who's big into all that college stuff, and especially my father. He practically worships a white man in his science and his craft and all that stuff for that. And of late I talked to him and realized, look, man, the spirit is not in me to talk with you, man. And that's the reason why you and I haven't seen each other for 30 years. Okay? Because you're walking a different path from me. I'm a soldier for Yahushua Mashiach. I want to see Esau's death. I want to see him suffer. Okay? And you want to see you're comfortable in your little retirement and you got a boat and a house and all this other stuff for that, and you're just another proud nigga, man. I'll be honest with you, be right frank with you. Okay, and I'm just, it's like I don't want to talk with you, man. All right, I don't want to deal with that. This is that work, and this is why, we're in that situation where you cannot have this, feelings for those people, even those who are close to you, that choose to kind of to ride in Great Babylon America, because we seen what we seen here, where it says, "Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection, the works of iniquity," and it goes down and it says, "They encourage themselves in evil matter." They plan on bringing out the RFID microchip. Okay, that is a fact. They're planning on doing more lockdowns. Okay, they keep talking about these newer pestilence. Okay, they got these like what 7D hologram that they're going to use to probably try, use these satellites to try to create some type of hologram of some ship or whatever the case is like that. We know about the Blue Beam Project. Okay, and they have advancement that they haven't even pulled that doggone trick out yet. Okay, what we seeing out here is like 10, 15 years behind of what Esau and them really actually have. Okay, because the Lord is going to make that little short little scrap that Esau is going to get destroyed in what less than an hour. Okay, he's going to make it look good. But I was going to say like eternity to Esau, because they can be getting their ass handed to them. And it says, "They search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep. But power should shoot at them with an arrow, suddenly shall they be wounded." And you seen that wound going on right now. We seen the wound. Jake, you got to understand there's going to be inconvenience. And see, yeah, you seen the farms are getting burned, the poultry getting burned, the beef farm is getting burned. The shelves are getting empty. You get all these explosions that's going on, these chemicals and all that stuff. The water's going to get polluted, which is going to cause you to have to go buy bottled water. That's why they was conditioning us to go buy bottled water. Something that should be free. Okay. We see all these things. We understand that it's going to be an inconvenience. Meaning what? I'm used to laying down on the damn couch or the bed and watching a TV, and all this other stuff. So this is why Jake them they're gonna fall they're gonna fall too fast. What's the average weight for the so-called black woman? What, she's 5'3"?
Yeah, like 5'2", 5'3", 240 pounds, 215 pounds. Not being very lenient by saying that. Yeah, it could be more than that. It could be 240. But I know like a lot of E was like petite, but the majority of them like look like Ursula from Little Mermaid and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, so it's up there.
You know, and the men, a lot of the men are having that problem when you've been eating all of Esau's, you know, vile abominable food because we didn't follow the dietary plan even when you hear it. Okay, you have diabetes, okay, and all this other stuff and obesity. A lot of Jakes are obese. A lot of Jakes are obese, man. A lot of Jakes are obese. You know, that's going to be an issue. How are you going to run? How are you going to survive? Why you think, okay, during that shutdown, they were saying the hospitals were overwhelmed and the doctors said they were falling out and they couldn't sleep and they getting all this nerve. Because when the real death comes, when those real things start happening, and they said that was a simulation, these doctors are going to quit. Remember how the cops quit in New Orleans in 2005 when that hurricane went out there, Katrina went down there and screwed the place up? They just literally they took their badge off and said, screw this, man. They're overwhelmed. That's the same thing with these doctors and these nurses. They have families. So when you see death piling up, they're gonna have to decide: do we cater to the old people first, or do we deal with that person with the little finger got smashed in the door? People going to the hospital for those kind of things right now, popping a pill very low. Come on, man. These are things you're gonna have to contend with, Jake. I mean, we can sit down here for hours on end and really, if you go and you put it on a spreadsheet and look at every doggone thing that could make your life miserable, we'll be all night talking. Because you only need to have one thing to go wrong, and Esau knows has set up the life for all of us to have that kind of dependency on the ways of Esau. And it says, all men shall fear and shall declare the work of power, for they wisely consider his doing. That's really going to be in the later part there when it's quite obvious that this, okay, as you know, like a lot of these, some of these, you might go, well, that's got to be not a miracle, but what they say, that's got to be something coming from God judging. They can know. Okay, that's why I wrote the Bible. They always say that they shall know I am the Lord thy power. Everybody's going to know who Yahweh is. And it said the righteous should be glad in the Lord Yahweh and should trust in him, and all the upright heart shall glory. We're glorying. We're glorying because we're seeing that the prophecies are coming now. Okay, they're true. Go ahead,
Con. Now this is I want to make a comment about what you were saying about Jake collectively not being able to run, because of the obesity thing. This is 1 Timothy chapter 4 verse 8. It says, "For bodily exercise profiteth little, but godliness is profitable into all things, having promise of the life that now is, and of that which is to come." So we know working out is carnal, okay, but it's not wicked, all right? It's because it's very profitable for one's health. So it would be wise to exercise. However, that's not you can do all the bench press in the world. That's not gonna save us. So what Apostle Paul's going into is, yes, bodily exercise profit a little, but that's not what's going to save you. We should, that's not what our minds should be fixated on. What our minds should be fixated on is, the tender and plenteous and gracious mercy be held by Shemeshai. I'm saying through this sound doctrine, this ministry reconciliation of the sound doctrine, okay, in which the belief of which is going to get us saved, man. All right, everything else that is not wicked, okay, we can indulge in, but it's not going to save us. Like bodily exercise, it's a profit to the flesh, but not a profit to the spirit per se. That's not the end all be all, is essentially what Apostle Paul is saying. So, having all this been said, down the line, we're gonna have to be on the move, man. A good number of us gonna have to be on the move. We're gonna. It's like Yahweh Shemeshai said in 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. We're gonna have to be like pilgrims in the earth. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And like Yahweh himself was, he was homeless. That's why I believe it was the tax collector Zacchaeus was in a tree in St. Luke, the 19th chapter. Because he heard that Yahweh was coming through Jericho, so he's posted up in a tree. It's like waiting for Yahweh to come through, and then Yahweh didn't have to look up because he knew he was up there. And he said, "Come down from there. The Son of Man needs a place to stay." Roughly paraphrasing, because he was homeless. So why? Because because Yahweh by Shemeshai, Yahweh is a perfect example on how to conquer this flesh. Okay, by being lowly. All right, because of meek or lowly, and that's how the reins of the heart are tried. Okay, to fray the purge us from the wicked deeds of this flesh, and that's why he was homeless. That's why he didn't deal with no women. Okay, so and more importantly, that example of him, passing through and telling Zacchaeus that he didn't have a place to stay was a further example of him being a pilgrim, just like we're gonna have to be pilgrims, man. So you're a pilgrim wandering around like Denzel from the Book of Eli. You can't be out of shape, man. You gotta tend to your health in some kind of fashion, man. You know what I'm saying? Cut out that fucking corn syrup, sugar, you know what I'm saying? Yeast or whatever other poison that Esau puts in our food supply and water. Try to abstain from it as much as possible, man. Because like it says in Ezekiel the 4th chapter, we got to eat our flesh. We got to eat our meat rather defiled before the Gentiles anyway. But the best we can do is make the best of our situation. So, continuing on here, 1 Timothy 4:9. This is a faithful saying, worthy of all acceptation. For therefore we both labor and suffer reproach, because we trust in the living power, who is the Savior of all men, especially of those that believe. Now, who is a believe? Is that all men? Because a reprobate, you know what I'm saying, such as a plantation Christianity bug out would read this and say, "Oh, see, brother, this talking about everyone." No, who's that? Who's a man of men? This is talking about right here. This is Job chapter 2, verse 32. It says, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord Yahweh shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance. As the Lord Yahweh has said, and in the remnant whom the Lord Yahweh shall call. And that's clearly talking about the elect. So that's, in these last days, many people shall die because of their pride. The unfruitful works of darkness, like it speaks about in Galatians, the 5th chapter, and 2nd Ezra, the 8th chapter. See, you know what I'm saying? So that's why we're supposed to make our calling election sure, because we don't know we're of the elect. You see, so when one believes, you know what I'm saying, that he's on a level because of his knowledge, pursuing 1 Corinthians 8:1, being puffed up off of his knowledge, by him and further acknowledging that this is the most precious knowledge on earth, okay, but having a wicked sentiment about this knowledge, looking to make a name for himself off this knowledge. Okay, that man that is exalted shall be abased. You know what I'm saying? And that's why judgment shall start at the seat. That's like at the sanctuary of Yahweh by Shem and Shai in these last days, man. So this is a terrible time to be proud. Okay, because the shit that we're gonna have to experience is gonna be very trying to our faith. We're gonna need all the help we can get through this quote unquote divine intervention. You see, because Yahweh by Shem and Shai is not playing. Okay, through Esau on the left-hand side. He's having his devil turn it up, man. Every time you turn around, there's a train derailment happening. An agricultural manufacturing plant is mysteriously catching on fire. The power grids being mysteriously attacked and vandalized and whatnot. See? So job shortages at an all-time high. Prophesied Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter. And ultimately, this is gonna end up with Esau being impoverished again, like it says in Malachi, the 1st chapter. So we're not supposed to fear these things, man, because we know that this devil, okay, is going down. Okay, all right. And I got this one last precept here on the subject. Isaiah 25:11. It says, "And he shall spread forth his hands in the midst of them, as he that swimmeth spreadeth forth his hands to swim. And he shall bring down their pride together with the spoils of their hands." Okay, this is really talking about Esau, man. All right, because he's known to spoil Israel, pursuing St. James the 5th chapter through the cotton fields, sugar and tobacco fields. Okay, which is further byproducts of international trade between these nations. All these goods and services that they trade amongst themselves, they got from egregious and grueling chattel slavery, man. Okay, or we, including us. Pricking our hands so they would bleed, for Esau's cotton industry. Okay, you see that? We have. So where's our 40 acres and a mule that he promised us, man? Okay,
he's a liar.
He's a fucking liar, man. Because hence why he's the devil the Bible speaks of, man. And that's why he's gonna have to cough up all the spoils of his hands, mainly on behalf of Jake. Because in Isaiah 14:6, it speaks about how he has essentially done this to everyone, but not to the degree that he has done it to Jake. So he's gonna have to pay for this, man. And we are at the end we're at that time rather where we're seeing the end of this devil, man. Yep. Okay, but you got it.
Yeah, and then Jake don't want to hear this when you go to the book of Isaiah 30, starting with worse. 9, it says, this is rebellious people, talking about Yahshua, so-called black Native Americans, Latino, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord, how about Shema Shai, will say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceit. We've seen this with groups like IUIC, ISUPK, Sakari, okay, Wi-Fi, okay, and a whole host of other ones out there. I mean, we're not even going to mention these doggone pulpit pastors out there that are really, I mean, they're the face, okay, of they don't even preach, they don't prophesy anything at all. They just talk, shit, really. Actually, that's what you can say. They just talk shit, okay. And it says, therefore, this iniquity, wickedness, shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly in an instant. And so, Jake them don't see a sudden famine where you walk into Walmart and all of there's no food at all. They don't see a sudden, mass, couple thousand Gurga troop that's going out there to beat the living shit out of Jake, drag them, throw them inside these metal vans and drag them off somewhere in the middle of the doggone desert where they have these secret prisons are, okay? To put them in the same place where the CIA turn around and they put a lot of their doggone prisoners, okay? And they can do that waterboard torture and all kinds of nasty stuff to you, all right? And it says, and he shall break it as the breaking of the potter's vessel that is broken to pieces, he shall not spare, so that there shall be not found in the bursting of a sure to take fire from the heart or to take water out of the pit. But thus said the Lord power, the Holy One of Israel, in returning and rest shall ye be saved, in quietness and confidence shall be your strength, and you would not. Okay? So the hopefully left, all we have is really this. As you mentioned earlier, I mean, you could be fitter, you could do all that stuff. You could have a combat arms background, all those stuff. The fact is, unless you have the current of Yahushua and Mashiach, okay, you're not going to make it through this. So if you're among the elect, any of us, okay, as among the 2/3, we're done. You're guaranteed death, and you'll be reborn in the kingdom. You are guaranteed death. Doesn't matter what the hell you do, you can't escape it. Okay, guaranteed death. Just so much so as Esau, okay, is guaranteed what? To lose his kingdom, okay, and to go serve servitude for 1,000 years and then be put to death afterward. Okay, a horrible judgment, and we'll go into that in the next week forum where we really, will let you Edomites know, okay, what's really coming for you. And Jake, who worship the so-called white man, know that what you're worshiping is really your future slave. That don't make any sense. Okay. That's right. You're worshiping your future slave. Okay.
Yep.
That's all I got out.
Yeah, this is Malachi chapter 3, verse 14. It reads, ye have said it is vain to serve. So I can stop at verse 13. Malachi 3 and 13 reads, your words have been stout against me, said the Lord Yahweh. Yet ye say, what have we spoken so much against thee? Verse 14, ye have said, it is vain to serve the Most High God Yahweh. And what profit is it that we have kept his ordinance and that we have walked mournfully before the Lord Yahweh of hosts? And this is the mindset of the Israelites, man. Collectively speaking, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians, and Israelite foreigners across the pond, the four corners of the earth anyway, okay, don't have enough fear of Yahweh by Shemer Shai. That's why you think it's vain to serve him right now. And that's why you look at us as we're corny choir boys. Look at these pussy niggas on the corner. You know what I'm saying? Probably broke, begging for change. You know what I'm saying? Shucking the driver for change, whatever, wicked imaginations come to mind because you lack fear. So you cannot comprehend within your simpleton mind, your simple mind, that what we're doing is life-changing for ourselves, first and foremost, and to those who hear us, pursuing 1 Timothy 4:16, St. James 5:20, for example. You see? So it says, Malachi 3:15, and now we call the proud happy, yea, they that work wickedness are set up, yea, they that tempt the Most High God Yahweh are even delivered. Like it says in Isaiah 26 chapter, how, roughly paraphrasing, the wicked are supported for a short season. So yeah, right now they're winning. Okay, Esau, all right, the other heathen, 2/3 of our people, they're winning right now. So we're not supposed, but we're not supposed to envy the wicked because we're gonna have our chance. We're gonna have our shot, like they like to say at HOY. We got next. We do have next. We're gonna have next forever. Okay, you see, that goes without saying, man. Because hey, the mortal mind can't even fathom that, man. Immortality, never dying again. That's just See, this is what Yahushua promised us, man. In St. John 3:16, only to those who would have believed on him. Who are the only ones who could believe on Yahweh by Shem Shah by default? The only ones who he blessed, he with that understanding. Okay, through the by preordaining us to be his chosen, man. Okay, sanctifying us through the holy covenant. And that's why we have a strong zeal for the Most High. Okay, this is Malachi 3:16. Here's a point. Then they that feared the Lord Yahweh spake often one to another, and the Lord Yahweh hearkened and heard it. And a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord Yahweh and that thought upon his name. So these are the ones that are not going to fear, Esau, Edom. When he comes down with that great wrath, knowing he has but a short time to enforce this mark of the beast on people, the chip. Okay, we're going to be good. That's why Yahushua said, "Fear not he who could destroy the body, but rather fear him who could destroy both the soul and body." Roughly paraphrasing. And this referred to destroy is that eternal hellfire doctrine. Okay, which is Esau's Greek mythology, folklore bullshit. Okay, because all spirits, all souls rather belongs to Yahweh by Shem Shai. Wicked or righteous, man. Pursuing Ecclesiastes 12:7, Ezekiel 18:4, and so forth. You see? You know what I'm saying? So we don't. So when they're throwing people in FEMA camps, prophesying in Revelation 2:10, looking to torture people for refusing to bow down before the image of the beast and take that mark of the beast, the chip. Okay, Yahweh by Shem Shai is going to spare us from that. And whatever he does allow us to go through, whatever affliction does permit for us to go through, is not going to be more than what we can handle, like he promised us, man. Okay, so so Israel can rest assured that Yahweh by Shem Shai has our back as long as we have his. Okay, pursuing Sirach, the 4th chapter, striving for the truth unto death. Okay, and then he will fight for us, man. You see, and we're supposed to do so through perfect love. We know what is perfect love? A lack of fear of what's to happen to our flesh. Because we don't pursue Revelation 12:11. We don't give a fuck about our lives anyway, man. I dread being in this fucking place, man. I'm a young man. And I could be out here chasing skirts. I give a fuck about that shit, man. I want to be ruling under my Lord and Master and my King, my secondary King, if you will, Malak Dawadah, in the kingdom of heaven. I don't fucking be here no more, man. So we don't fear what the devil's gonna. You see, in these last days, we become bolder and bolder. Which leads me to this. Go ahead, Doc.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, you can feel it, man. I mean, the irritation. I mean, you walk around and like when I was at the gym today, I saw these Sakari farm boys. Them, these are the ones I met out here when I first came out here. They get the fake beard, lined up and everything like that, and he's just inside there, fatter than ever. And it's like, you can tell like, he's eating up, Sakari and IUIC, and it's like, man, that's just not it, man. I said, but it is what it is. These people, they believe in a hell doctrine because here it is. Imagine you on top of the world, on top of everybody, in this life, in this flesh. Then you die, you go to this place where the same people that you was on top of, they're in there with you, getting roasted over and over like a damn doggone hot dog on the spittle or whatever the case is like that. Okay. And so for them, it's like, okay, it's a win-win or lose-lose situation for them. Now, when they understand, no, you reincarnate and you go back and be our slave. And this is where the problem is. Not only for these Edomites, but for Jake. They really, really don't want the heavenly kingdom. They don't. They don't want it. Okay? They don't want it. And they're unwilling to do the work of Yahushua Mashiach, which is to go to the highway and the byway, okay, and put there and make the body a living sacrifice. Okay? So we understand now when we read through the Old Testament and we read through the New Testament, with them spitting on the Malak, we read them spitting on the prophets, stoning the prophets, and the prophets of old got put to death in horrible ways, which very well those men are here right now in the flesh today, okay, who have been put to death in those horrible ways, okay. Nobody wants to stand up for anything. Jake them don't do it, okay. And Lord willing, we go a little bit more into the follies of Jake them here in this wicked queendom, in our next forum or when we do camp, okay. And the fact that they just sitting down here just sleeping, man. They're sleeping, okay. So you know, this gospel isn't for them. This isn't for them anyway. It's for the 130 elect of Yasharala.
That's right.
You know, and that's really who this is for. And this is the reason, you know, we do the work because our King ordered us to do the work. But really, it's geared towards those who will believe there. And you know, we all got to give thanks to Yahweh Shem Shai for waking us up because we were out there too. You know, so somebody had to do the work. If the men were doing the work,
That's right.
you and I wouldn't be sitting out here live on Akiam doing the work too.
Con. That's right.
You know?
Yep.
And this is beautiful times, man. This is beautiful times.
Con. What a wonderful, like to say, what a wonderful time to be alive. See that, like it says in Sirach 25:7. Okay, as a further part of further confirming or further co-signing the fact that it is a wonderful time to be alive because we get to see the downfall of our enemies. Okay, not just Esau, all of our enemies, man. All those who spoke against the truth, these backbiters, scoffers, scorners, naysayers, and gainsayers. Okay, all of you fucks. Like the elder brother Taziah one from the main camp, like to say, to all you fucks, you're gonna be out here fleeing for yourself because ultimately, within the spiritual warfare, you've chosen who you want to serve. You're gonna choose. You've chosen Esau Edom on behalf of the devil, on behalf of really Shaitan. Esau is a devil on behalf of Shaitan over the Heavenly Father. You see, and this is why you're gonna be destroyed because you fear him. You know, you trust in chariots and men more than you trust in Yahweh Shem Shai. And and we don't. You see, so the lot that we're in is very precious, man, because by way of the true divine wisdom, knowledge, understanding we were blessed with, more precious than rubies, like it says in Proverbs, the 3rd chapter, we've had to have feared Yahweh by Shem Shai. And this is why here, 1 John 4:17 reads, herein is our love, and we're stopped at verse 16. And we have known and believed the love that the Most High Yahweh had to us. The Most High God Yahweh is love, and he that dwelleth in love dwelleth in the Most High God Yahweh, and the Most High God Yahweh in him. Okay, and this is why in Psalm the 10th chapter, it says that the Most High God Yahweh is not at all in the thoughts of Esau. And this is why his sinful queendom is turned upside down, where a man can act like a woman and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Where the rich can get richer and the poorer can get poorer. That's madness and perverseness, man. But only permitted here. Now speaking of perverseness, it got reported that cows can supposedly produce human breast milk. So this devil needs to be fucking destroyed, man, because he's literally destroying the entire earth. You see that? And those who take that chip, they're gonna do so out of fear of him, as opposed to fear of Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay, and accepting Esau's mark, well, really Yahweh Shem Shai's mark through Esau, which is the emerald, the chip, okay, over the mark of exemption. Okay, having one's mind fixated on that. Okay, like it says in Ezekiel the 4th chapter, because that mark of exemption only pertains to the elect, whose names are in the book of life for salvation, whose names will not be blotted out of the book of life for enduring to the end. Okay, through fear. So this is 1 John 4:17. Herein is our love made perfect, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment. Because as he is, so are we in this world. See, because now that's what makes it real, man. Not how much ass he can pop or get. Now how much ass he can whoop in terms of warfare, and none of that shit. Okay, what matters is his measure of faith and what he's and what righteous principles he's willing to instill. Okay, to die for. Okay, in terms of his ministry, man. Okay, and there's no greater man than Yahweh Shai, man. And that's why he's a perfect example. Pursuing 1 Peter 2:22. Okay, on what to do. Okay, and even what not to do, because the scripture says that he suffered for his sins. Okay, what does that mean? Yahweh Shai sinned. I thought the Messiah, who the master of the world ignorantly referred to Jesus Christ as perfect. He never sinned as himself. He sinned in his pre-incarnations, i.e. King Solomon and so forth. This is why that goes to why he had to endure. We had to endure to show us that he's not above what he did in his past life, just like we're not above what we did in our past lives, man. This is why he's the ultimate man of faith. Okay, and this is why he shed his blood for remission of sins of Israel. And this is why he must be honored and worshipped. Okay, because you cannot worship Yahweh without doing so through Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. whether you like it, but you Jakes out there like it, understand it, believe, accept it or not, Yahweh Shai is that gateway to get the fuck up out of here, man. So if you don't do right by him, you're gonna melt here, like it says in Ezekiel the 3rd chapter. Especially those who takes that chip and will die that second death, that lake of fire. On behalf of the 200 million thermonuclear missile warheads that will produce that concentrated heat, it's like that thermonuclear fire of projected 1,000,000 degrees and heavy radiation, man. They'll sweep by this place, Babylon the Great America, and leave this place completely desolate, neither left root nor branch. That's how horrible this destruction is going to be. You know what I was pondering on last night? I was thinking about Sakari then, right, and all these other, wayward camps and whatnot. I'll say their names, man. You know what I'm saying? The spirit has it. The spirit is dialed in on these guys, man. And I was thinking about these guys, and I was thinking, yo, if I had a conversation with them, you know what I would ask them? Do you know what it's like to be on fire? You know what I'm saying? Because the closest I've been to that is doing some folly when I was an adolescent or a youth, touching a fire stove out of curiosity. But could you imagine being on fucking fire, man? So like, why would you want to tempt Yahweh by Shem Shai to potentially wind up in that situation when all we have to do is just do what's written? So in closing, the conclusion is keep the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh by Shem Shai by way of your measure of faith. Speaking to myself first and foremost, okay, or get destroyed, man. Okay, because there's many ways to die, man. There's many snares of death, and especially for the fact that Yahweh by Shem Shai is very creative. Like I Spike TV back in the day when it said they had that show 1,000 Ways to Die. Well, there's infinite ways to die in the mind of Yahweh by Shem Shai. So why tempt him, man? So in a time where we should be in the greatest spirit of fear of him, because that's the beginning of wisdom, of this knowledge in the first place, man. You see that? So that's why we're not worried about how the 2/3 is going to die, but rather how the righteous is going to be saved. You see that? Right. So yeah, that was it.
Yeah. Very good. So, Lord willing, you edified. The beginning of our midweek forums that we're going to be having, continue various topics, things that's going to be in the news, and also, of course, everything we're going to be, filtering through the scriptures, and as always, we will continue to be in the faith and do the work of Yahushua Mashiach, okay, as he commanded, which is pointing our face against Mount Seir, okay, this wicked devil, Esau, the so-called white man, the Sheshkot, who's our enemy, okay, and who is the enemy of Yasharala, our so-called Blacks, Native Americans, and Latinos. So with that, I love you. Give the close out.
Fine. All right. As always, we in ancient Hebrew, we're gonna give all praise, glory, infinite honor to our power, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, who is also the God of the living. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. We all praise to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten and anointed Son, Yahweh Shai, and the Holy Spirit, who is our strength and our Redeemer, and our light and our salvation, our spiritual covering from all manners of evil, okay, of the plagues of his indignation, okay, and also, once again, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the true shepherds of Israel, along with the like-minded Sequani Wa'akim across the four corners of the earth, also laboring in faith, truth, and sincerity in this doctrine of ours, man, okay? And with that, Abad with Ball, DTA very soon, okay? Abad with Ball, DTA soon.
Soon. Very, very soon.
Sooner than we believe, man. All right. With that, Kwame Allah, Shalom to the elect, and on to the next one.
All right.